I see another commentary on the way. BigJackFilms, he's doing commentary time. Okay, that's all we got now. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another audio commentary. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm kind of bored on this Wednesday night in the middle of a blizzard, and I figured I'd talk about another one of our episodes we worked on. And this time we're taking a look at my review of Felix the Cat, the movie. This is an episode that was from Season 2, and I'm really fond of this episode. I had a lot of fun working on it. And I'd say the first thing to start with is this kind of awesome, like, classic morning opening, which is fucking hilarious. This is right outside my house, which is really nice. I have a nice little house area. I've been there for about 10 years, or 15 or whatever. So we zoom in on in my room, and there I am just sleeping away. It's the funniest thing. So, yeah, I open it up, and we have this, like, alarm clock going on, which is, the song, I forget, Pharaoh Mark's, Get the Fuck Up, or I can't remember what the song is, but it uses the music from the Godzilla theme, and it's really hilarious to think that that rap came from that. Now this whole bit of me singing, this is actually based on, there's an episode of South Park where Cartman just kind of walks in, and is like, on his big wheel, and he's like, how's it going, guys? So it was based on that. Then we have the first use of this dimensional thing going on that's been part of the show. And there's Timber the dog. I really gotta bring her back in a few episodes. But yeah, so this was the first time using some sort of dimensional portal thing to establish more of the story and everything in the reviews. This is the first time doing it. And yeah, all this was shot throughout the weekend of Anime North. As you guys know, Anime North is probably my #1 or #2 favorite convention of all time. Like, this and G-Fest are my favorites. So I've always wanted to film a video at a con, like do a review there. So kind of do like what some jerk with a camera does, where he reviews his reviews at Disneyland. And so for me, I wanted to do that with Anime North or conventions. So this is the first time I've done this, and I had a real blast doing it. I just had me and my tripod. I had a couple people on standby, Bradley and a few others, come in just in case I needed help. But yeah, this was actually, I think, the first day of Anime North. This was the Friday, and yeah, there's huge lineup outside, because the best way I can describe Anime North, it is like Woodstock, but minus the hippie mentality. It's more, just anime stuff. But yeah, so Felix the Cat, the movie, my history with this film. I remember watching this a lot as a child. This is one of my favorite movies I used to rent from my video store. It was really a big inspiration for me in terms of role-playing with friends and other people, like when we were kids, and we like imagine we're doing and pretending we're being different characters. So we always used Oriana as a reference, as sort of the gateway to all these worlds whenever we did this stuff. So from the very beginning, this movie was kind of like a big inspiration for me to get into kind of dimensional travel and the idea of multi-crossovers and stuff like that. And on top of that, it's a big Star Wars ripoff, because it's literally that whole thing. It's a big Star Wars knockoff with all the characters and the way the plot is. But I remember renting it a lot as a child, and I know, looking at it over the years, I remember I used to watch it constantly on, like, rides from my trips to places in my mother's van, because we used to have like a VHS player in the van, so I used to watch this a lot. But yeah, basically it was kind of like, I think one of the reasons I wanted to review it was because as of late, ever since Nostalgia Critic covered it, this movie's been getting panned left and right, and I agree, yes, this movie is bad. This movie is pretty trashy. But it's really a guilty pleasure for me, because I'll be one of those people who defend it, especially the fact that I am a fan of the character Felix the Cat. I love all the old cartoons. I love all the old silent films they used to do. But the movie was a real groundbreak for the character, and I really enjoyed, you know, the film itself. So for me, it's just a chance for me to defend it and give my own take on it and just discuss why I like it. And yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. It's like, it's a mix of Star Wars, it's a mix of, like, even stuff like heavy metal is in this film, as well as, like, the soundtrack sounding like a lot like Top Gun. Okay, this was hysterical, because I've always wanted to do something with Joffrey, because as a fan of Game of Thrones, I hated this character. Every time he appeared on TV, I would actually want to take a bat to the television, but I hated the character. Thank God he died in Season 4, spoiler alert. And actually, funny enough, I want to get into a little story. I met Jack Gleason, who played Joffrey, And in reality, he's the nicest guy in the world. Like, I literally went up to him and I said, you don't know how many televisions I wanted to smash with you when you were there. And he looked at me like, this kid's gonna kill me. But then I had to compliment and say, you played probably the greatest villain I've ever seen on any screen. But a very complimentary guy, very nice kid, really does well for himself, really nice guy in person. And then afterwards, after I met him, I called my mom and I said, hey mom, yeah, I shook hands with the devil. And she looked at me like, what did you do? But yeah, it was fucking great. So I love this joke coming up where I'm just like with a bunch of Star Wars fans pretty much telling the obvious of what it was. So how a lot of this went around, I would just go to the con and just go to different cosplay photo shoots and just ask if we can do a little skit for YouTube video. So this bit I just went to a Star Wars photo shoot. And I just kind of directed them all to kind of just come in and just shout that out with me on sync, which is great. And it came out really well. And actually one of the Jedi in that photo shoot is a girl named Stephanie, who is an amazing cosplayer. She does an incredible job cosplaying Rey from The Force Awakens, as well as, what's her name? Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. And if you guys want to see her cosplays and support her stuff, I'll leave links to her Instagram or Facebook, and you guys can check her out. But yeah, like, I mean, so I love this with fucking Indiana Jones in the background. I just had to get a little George Lucas joke in there too, but the guy playing Indy, it's funny because I was telling him how the skit was, and he just kind of gave me this look on camera like, I don't know if I approve of you ripping on George there, on George Lucas. Yeah, even, like, that's the thing, Star Wars, even after its time, had kept going. I remember one of my favorite parody moments of Star Wars was Muppet Babies in this episode called Gonzo's Video Show, where they just film on a Super 8 camera and film the whole Star Wars movie in one go, which is great. And I'll get into that later on in another video. Yeah, but the music's fucking great in this movie too. Like, it's got a very Top Gun-esque score. And it also, like, I mean, the songs are pretty good. Like, the Duke of Zilla anthem is actually a pretty good rock album. Yeah, like, this bit here sounds a lot like Top Gun, for some reason. Like, I keep expecting Maverick to fly by and just, like, do something awesome, you know? And another thing, the music sounds so badass in battle. So, this footage was mostly from, like, previous Anime Norths, and they were for a cosplay battle I was playing. Now, this 18 cosplayer is amazing. I just kind of dragged her over and said, hey, I'm doing this little video, do you want to do it? So she was a real sport about it, which was great. I love this shot. That's badass. That's awesome. I'm hoping to do more cosplay-related characters showing up on my show to establish characters, because when you have animation and you have to mask out all the backgrounds, it's a pain in the ass, so it'd be a lot easier if you just, like, get a cosplayer to portray the character in a sense. So it's kind of like what Nostalgia Critic does, where, like, they have a studio and they have to recreate all these characters through costumes and stuff. So yeah, like, okay, the Duke of Zilla, it's interesting because, like, everybody's made the joke of the fact he looks like a cross between Darth Vader and Mysterio from Spider-Man. So I didn't really want to make that joke. I don't know if I did. It's been a while since I've seen this episode all the way through, but it's pretty obvious the reference there. And the other thing I love about this movie is that the creative imagination of the creatures of each individual character is pretty cool. Like, it's actually, like, all the creatures look really good in this. Okay, this joke was because, listening to the song, I did imagine, like, pole dancers to this, so I figured the obvious joke was to just take from High School DxD, which is an amazing anime, by the way. You guys should definitely watch that. It's a great anime. Very funny. Okay, now this joke, this is my friend Jessica, who is an amazing cosplayer. I will put links to her Instagram and shit below. She's fantastic, but I was staying with her at Anime North, and she just helped me. I told her about the skit, and she frickin' laughed her ass off. I think we had to do, like, 2 or 3 takes just to do this. So she was great just doing that one little bit, which was hilarious. So good on her. Kudos to her for going through that and doing that whole skit. I love just me falling down, and I love that sound effect of the falling down, just like the, you know, like it was used on Suburban Nights and stuff, but I love that sound effect. I love using that kind of, like, reviewer sound effects. Okay, now this was because that whole bit with The Lion and the King was mostly because I remember I watched Felis's review of The Lion and the King, the Dingo Pictures thing, and I literally, like, my brain just died there. So many brain cells were lost watching it. And it's just been, it's a mental scar for me seeing, like, that, how much of a crap fest that is, so I just had to make a joke reference to that because it's fucking terrible. So yeah, yeah, a lot of this, yeah, Anime North were real sports in letting me come in and film this. I would like to do something maybe this year. I'm not too sure exactly if I'm gonna have time, but I would definitely like to film another review there at some point. It's a great convention, and hell, if you want, I'll put a link below to the Anime North page in case you want to get tickets for the con. It's a great con. Now, this shot was actually done very last minute right before I left, so everybody had pretty much gone, and I just kind of added that there. Okay, and I had, again, like, all these, like, anime jokes. Well, when you're at Anime North, you kind of have to do that. So, this ending was kind of interesting, because I just kind of just threw it in at the last minute, and then this was shot late at night, and I just kind of just shot it. And it was my first time using animation in live action, so I just took the last shot of the movie, and just masked it in, and just had it where he just showed up in the corner. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off. And thanks for watching. And check out Felix the Cat and check out Anime North this year in 2019. Take care.